Readthrough.com is proud to present A Spirited Queen, Exterior The Boulevard, Day, Super, Varna, Bulgaria, 1990. The church bells ring. A few workers remove a bright red five-pointed star off the top of a tall building. The streets are clean, but empty. A municipal white car drives on the highway. Two large speakers are attached to its top. Man's speech comes from them loudly.
Today is the day. All comrades, let us unite, for the last day of red tyranny is finally here. You'll no longer be called comrades.
The cut front page of a newspaper dances in the air as the white car passes through a bus stop with no people on it. Interior dim of house, bedroom, day, it's dusk. In a small dark bedroom, Nellie, 28, a pregnant woman wearing white pyjama, sits on a small chair near the room's only window. She has heavy bags under her eyes. Her contemplative stare is fixed at the new asphalt street outside. Raindrops fall and stream down the window. From the distance, Nellie sees the quiet street washed clean by the falling rain. Lightning flashes across the sky. A couple argues loudly outside Nellie's bedroom. She doesn't flinch.
You can't be smoking in the room.
I'm not in the room.
Put it out. The whole place smells like shit already. For goodness sake, do it for the girls. Svetla's flu is getting worse.
There is a loud knock on the door of Nellie's bedroom. She waits a moment. Then, stands to open the door. Milka, 48, Nellie's mother, is a short woman with a round warm face, and kind eyes.
It's the rationing. We are out of water again.
What? Again?
I don't know. It's just. Anyway, your father's going to get us some fresh water later today. Can you wait that long?
I'll be fine.
Good. We'll manage it then.
Milka walks into an adjoining room. Interior dim of house, living room, day, the wall clock ticks. Nellie and her father, Stoyan, 48, sit at a medium-sized dining table. He is a handsome man with dark curly hair, blue eyes and a wry face. He eats quickly, whereas Nellie has barely touched anything on her plate. Milka walks into the room. She uses the ladle to serve Stoyan more food from the pot sitting in the middle of the table. When she fills his bowl halfway, she stops.
Would you like some more?
Stoyan doesn't answer. Milka sits at the table and prepares to eat. Stoyan suddenly stands up and leaves the table. Milka and Nellie look at him as he leaves.
What was it this time?
On his way out, Stoyan nearly bumps into a young man at the door. They pass each other. The young man walks into the room. It is Nellie's husband, Valery, 29. A balding young man with dark hair and kind eyes. He kisses Nellie and greets Milka. Then he sits down at the table. They all start to eat. Svetla, 22, a sick-looking girl opens the door but doesn't enter the room. Milka ladles a portion into an empty plate and rushes out of the room.
So how was everything today?
It was fine.
Nellie tries to smile. Valery touches her hand.
You know, I had to supervise an exam today.
Oh yeah?
There was this student in class. The whole time he was chatting with someone, distracting the others. Clearly not focusing on the test.
Again?
I warned him, but nothing. So, I let him be. An hour passed. All the students came down to my desk and handed over their papers. So, I started checking them.
Let me guess. The guy was a genius.
So, I look across the room, and there he sits, all by himself. The exam sheet on his right and the textbook to his left. Imagine that. So, I keep checking the papers and at one point, he stands up, comes to my desk and tells me, I'm ready.
Nellie grins.
I was like, okay, what are you ready with? He didn't answer, so I went back to my papers.
And?
He shouts loudly, do you know who I am? I told him, no, it's not my class. Take it to your teacher. Now, you won't believe it. The guy takes up the whole pile, like right in front of me, and before I can even react, he puts his exam sheet right in the middle.
Nellie laughs.
I'm telling you, I haven't felt so embarrassed in all my years of teaching.
You've got to give it to him. He's got balls. And some brains too.
Nellie takes a bite of the juicy meat.
Balls he has. Brains, not so much. After all, he got a solid F in the grade book.
Valerie takes the ladle and puts some food on his plate.
Yep. After the incident.
Valerie makes a quote-unquote gesture with his fingers.
The head teacher told me all about him.
Ha! He who laughs last, laughs best.
Interior dim of house, bedroom, day, birds sing outside. Nellie wakes up to the sound of hard knocks on the bedroom door. She tries to stand up. A few more urgent knocks come from the door.
I'm coming.
Nellie finally stands up and opens the door. There is nobody there. She walks into, interior dim of house, hallway living room, continuous. Nellie walks a few steps forward and enters the living room. Milka searches for something in a panic. Nellie approaches her.
What's going on?
She's got HPV.
Who?
We thought it was just a flu, but it wasn't.
Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. I can't calm down. Do you know what hepatitis B can do to her?
She continues to search through the drawers.
Where the hell are the insurance papers? They were here yesterday.
Nellie loses the ground beneath her feet and sits on a nearby chair. She touches her belly.
The baby.
Milka stops. She puts a hand on her mouth.
My God. Oh, my God.
She turns around and walks to Nellie, hugging her. Later, a well-groomed doctor, with glasses and bag in hand, enters the room. Milka follows him in. Nellie still sits on the nearby chair. Her face is pale. Milka goes and stands by her side. The doctor takes up a chair and sits in front of them.
There isn't no easy way to say this.
Nellie looks up.
What is it?
Basically, if you're infected, there's a huge risk your bilirubin is too high.
No. It can't.
It's possible that the baby may suffer from optical nerve damage or brain dysfunction.
So? It could be blind? Mentally ill? What?
There is a possibility. Yes.
A hush falls over the room.
What if I'm not?
Well, considering the water rationing and the fact you live under one.
What if I'm not sick?
Then, I suppose it'd be fine. But
What's the alternative?
we could remove the baby, but with your first miscarriage, you're not likely to conceive again.
Nellie sheds tears. Milka nods to the doctor, urging him to stand. He stands up and she sends him out. Milka comes back into the room.
Nellie, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I want to believe, but
Don't say it.
we have to think.
Stop it. Just stop.
You have to listen to me.
No, I don't.
Could you really raise a disabled child? How's Valerie even gonna take it?
Nellie stands up and leaves the room. Interior dim of house, bedroom, night. Nellie and Valerie lie next to each other on the bed. They're silent. Nellie's eyes are red. She's been crying. Her eyes stare into space, steely and unblinking.
Hey. I want you to know.
He coughs, hiding the sorrow in his voice.
Whatever you do.
Hi.
Whatever you decide, I will support you.
He grips her hand. Nellie doesn't move.
You know. When I was little, there was this one time.
Interior the kindergarten, dining room, day, flashback, Super, Varna, Bulgaria, summer 1968. Nellie, 6, is a bright girl with blue eyes and neat, though cheap clothes. She has the face of an angel, but there is a deep, inner sadness within her eyes.
I was sitting next to the other kids. And then,
Nellie sits at a table in the corner and slowly eats from a bowl of soup. The other kids finish their soup. A female caretaker, 40, moves across the tables and brings each kid a second plate with mashed potatoes.
for the first time, I felt that pressure. The helplessness.
The caretaker reaches Nellie's table. She takes the second meal plate and pours its contents into the half-full soup dish. Nellie looks up at her with guilt.
Like there was nothing I could do.
The clock on the wall shows 12:15 p.m. One of the kids shouts,
"Can you eat any slower?"
All kids laugh at Nellie. The caretaker smirks. Later, the clock shows 12:25 p.m. Nellie hasn't touched the mixed meals in her dish. The caretaker comes for the second time and she brings each kid a dessert. She arrives at Nellie's table and pours out the dessert on top of the other two meals. Later, 1 p.m. Nellie sits alone. She still hasn't eaten anything. The caretaker sits near the door and reads a book. Nellie gets up and tries to leave. The caretaker blocks her way.
Oh. You ain't leaving till you eat everything up.
Later, 4:55 p.m. Nellie still sits in front of her dish. Her mother, Milka, 26, appears in the doorway. She has short hair and wears working clothes. Nellie runs to Milka and hugs her. The caretaker stands up. Milka looks at her angrily but doesn't say anything. She takes Nellie's hand.
Let's go.
They walk away. Interior dim of house, bedroom, night, present day, year 1990. Nellie wipes a tear from her eye.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm here.
Valerie moves closer to her and kisses her head.
It's been so long.
You've never told me any of this. Your childhood. I know it was painful, so I never.
Do you want to know?
Nellie looks straight into his eyes.
If it's too painful for you.
Nellie looks away.
I need to tell someone.
Okay.
Exterior outside the kindergarten, day, year 1968. Nellie and Milka quietly walk away from kindergarten.
I'm sorry, Nellie. It's...
Mom, I was thinking, you know this place down by the sea? With all these large stones piled on top of each other all the way to the top?
Yes, it's called a breakwater jetty. They hold back the waves, you know?
I had a dream about it last night. I was running over the stones, jumping from one to the other, like I was flying.
Were you there just last week?
Yeah, but Dad never lets me step on the rocks. Maybe we can go and climb them together one day.
We'll do it, honey. I promise you. We will.
Milka kisses her on the head.
And I'll show you how to jump these safely, so we can go all the way to the top and look at the big sea.
You want to see the world from up high?
MMHM.
Milka picks her up, while Nellie laughs. She sits Nellie down on her shoulders.
Mom, I'm too old for this.
No, you're not. Now, you see the world from up high.
Like I'm a giant.
You want to see it from up higher?
Yeah.
Exterior children's playground, day, Nellie sits on a swing. Milka stands next to her and swings it.
I can do it myself now.
Milka smiles and takes her hand off the swing. Nellie builds momentum and swings faster and faster.
Look, Mom. I'm flying.
Interior dim of house, bedroom, night, year 1990. Nellie's eyes have gone dry. A vague smile pops on her face.
And your father? Was he?
Nellie's smile disappears. Interior mansion, elevator shaft, day, super, fall, 1968. Nellie's father, Stoyan, 26, is an attractive man with blue eyes, dark hair and the looks of a model from some fashion magazine. He wears dirty repairman clothes and a yellow hard hat on his head.
Back then my dad was a repairman. A skilled technician. Always worked for a low salary, at various places. It was his temper and... well... the times.
Stoyan works on machinery near the elevator shaft. There is a set of different tools arranged next to him. His face is covered in sweat. He removes his hard hat and switches the wrench for a pair of pliers. A screwdriver slips off of the tool case. It rolls away and falls inside the elevator shaft.
Shit.
He reaches down the hole and tries to pick up the screwdriver. It's too far from his reach. He climbs down the hole. The elevator ropes on the inside start to move. Stoyan hears the sound of the approaching elevator. He looks up, then rushes for the screwdriver. Picks it up and quickly climbs out of the elevator shaft. Just before the elevator comes down, interior mansion, ground floor Kadlev's office, day, Stoyan walks out of the elevator. He fiddles with a utility key ring on his finger. The janitor points him to the right. Stoyan walks down a short hallway and arrives at an office door. The chrome nameplate reads Ivan Kadlev, manager. Stoyan knocks on the door.
Hang on.
Stoyan opens the door and walks into a small office. Kadlev, 46, is a fat man with mustache, wearing an expensive suit. He leafs through an erotic magazine. As Stoyan steps in, Kadleev rushes to hide the magazine.
Close the door.
Stoyan shuts the door and sits down across from Kadleev.
What's the status?
The hydraulics are almost dead.
Can you fix it?
No, it's gonna need a major repair.
With his forefinger, Kadleev raps on his desk a few times.
I guess we gotta find someone.
The valves just need replacing.
Yeah.
Stoyan smirks.
So, I'm out.
Sorry. We just can't afford a major repair right now.
Stoyan stands up and prepares to leave. Just as he reaches the door, he stops. He has his back to Kadleev.
Do you have a wife?
What?
You got a wife? Daughter? Someone you care about?
Stoyan turns his head sideways.
What is this?
Nothing. I just wonder how you'd feel if you had 3 girls, rent and debts to pay. That's all.
Well, I'd look for another job. Take another loan, maybe.
Stoyan flicks open the 3-inch blade on his keyring and waits for a moment. He pushes the door and walks out of the office hallway. Stoyan walks a few steps away from the office. He stops, raises his hand and punches the wall. Then, using his keyring knife, he stabs the wall multiple times in anger. Interior apartment house, attic room, day. It's a small apartment with minimal furnishings. Milka is pregnant. She cleans the house. Nellie skillfully uses a small pair of scissors to cut out pictures with beautiful houses and smiling families from a children's book. Interior apartment house, landlady's flat, day. Stoyan stands on a ladder at the switchboard.
Yep. The fuses are out. I need to change them.
The landlady, 33, is an attractive woman. She eyes Stoyan with obvious interest.
I thought it was more serious.
Nope. That's almost never the case.
Sure. Would you have time for a dinner tonight?
Isn't your husband coming home?
No, he's out on a business trip.
I see. Well, I got somewhere to be.
Rain check.
Interior apartment house, attic room, day. Stoyan steps in. He sits at a desk in the corner and lights up a cigarette. Picks up a small bag of tools and heads back out. The landlady talks to him coquettishly outside. They exchange a few indistinguishable lines and the voices stop. A moment later, the front door opens fiercely and the landlady walks in. She approaches Milka from behind.
The sink is clogged again.
Milka turns around and attempts to answer.
Why don't you go clean up somewhere else, so I don't have to put up with your shit anymore?
I Stoyan should.
If you don't get it fixed in the next 30 minutes, you can pack your bags. You hear me?
Nellie covers her ears with both hands. The landlady notices her.
And take this kid out somewhere. What kind of mother are you?
Interior apartment house, attic room, night. Stoyan comes home. He staggers. Milka puts her hands on her hips and looks at him angrily.
How is the little one today?
She's fine. Just.
No, the other one.
He pats Milka's belly. She helps him to his chair.
Did you get anything?
No, the guys were so nice. I couldn't take their money, you know.
We're running low for the week. What do you?
Hold on.
He takes a crumpled bill out of his pocket. Milka reaches to take it. Stoyan withdraws his hand.
No. First, I want to see her.
He uncovers Milka's belly and puts his ear to it. His eyes betray his intoxicated state, but he smiles. Interior apartment house, stairwell, day. Milka and Nellie climb up the building stairs. They hear a couple's brawl on one of the nearby floors. The sound of shattered glass results in more indistinguishable yells from inside the couple's apartment. Interior apartment house, Chris's apartment, day. Nellie and a boy her age, Chris, lie down on their stomachs. They paint in coloring books. Chris's mother, Dobrinka, 26, steps into the room. She smiles and puts a full plate of French fries next to the kids.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're most welcome.
Loud voices come from Nellie's apartment upstairs. Nellie runs out to check what's happening. Interior apartment house, attic room, day. Nellie opens the door and steps inside. Stoyan has torn the place to pieces. He searches for something. Milka looks devastated. Nellie stands at the front door.
Why are you doing this?
Just tell me. Where is it, huh? Where's the fucking box?
The flower pot. It's beneath the flower pot. Now, stop, I'm begging you.
Stoyan goes to the window and pushes the flower pot out of his way. It falls on the ground and shatters. He moves a piece of wood from the windowsill. He takes out a small metal box, opens it and starts counting the bills inside. He pockets nearly all the money.
That's all we have left for this month.
It's okay. I need it.
What for?
It's none of your business.
It is my business when it's all the money for food and rent. We're already behind.
We'll figure it out, all right? Don't worry about it.
What the hell is wrong with you? It's been 2 months now. I want to know why.
What do you mean, why? Are you implying something?
I'm not implying anything. I just...
Then shut your mouth, woman, and don't question me in front of my child.
He looks at Nellie. She still stands at the door. Stoyan holds up the metal box.
This is my fucking money.
Our money.
My money, and I'll do whatever I think is right with it. You understand? Say it. Say I understand.
He advances on her. Milka shrinks back.
I understand.
Good. Because I'm taking this too?
He pushes the metal box in his pocket and leaves the room. Interior dim of house, bedroom, night, present day, year 1990. Valerie takes Nellie's hand.
I'm so sorry.
Nellie gets up and walks towards the window. She sees a young woman and a little girl playing together on the street. Interior apartment house, attic room, day, flashback, year 1968. Milka counts some coins. Nellie reads from a math textbook for adults. She looks at a photo of a woman washing her dress in a laundromat.
My mother removed me from the kindergarten, so I was all alone most days. But I never really missed it.
Nellie stands up and goes to Milka.
Mom.
Yes, dear?
Can I wash my dress?
Milka smiles.
Of course. If you like, I'll get you a special basin, so you can wash every dress you ever have.
Really? That'll be awesome.
Nellie hugs her. The door handle wiggles. Someone tries to open it from the outside, though it's locked. Milka kisses Nellie on the head.
Go to your book.
Nellie goes back and continues her reading. Silence. A few strong knocks come from the outside.
Milka, open up. We need to talk.
Milka leans her back against the kitchen table. The landlady continues to knock.
Open up, damn it.
The knocks cease. Milka starts to peel potatoes. A few more loud knocks startle her. The landlady screams.
Look, you old cunt. If you don't open this door, I'm gonna break it down, and make you pay for it, before I kick your ass out on the street.
Milka opens the door. The landlady steps inside.
Why is the door locked?
I must have forked.
No, you didn't.
The color drains from Milka's face. She takes a step back and sits on a small chair.
Please. I'm sorry.
Where's your husband?
He's at work.
On a Saturday?
Yes, he's got to do maintenance.
Tell him I want to speak to him when he gets back.
Okay. I will.
If I find you've locked again, you're going on the street.
Exterior the Sea Garden Park, day, Nidarka, 50. Stoyan's mother is a well-groomed woman with glasses and a serious face. She sits on a bench in the park. Molov, 39, a man in an expensive suit, sits next to her. Milka arrives and sits across from them. Her cheeks are hollow.
This is the man from Stoyan's workers' party I was telling you about. I want you to talk to him.
What is this?
Ma'am, I hear you're having some trouble at your current place. Is that right?
Molov takes up a small pad and prepares to write in it.
Yeah, Who are you exactly?
We may consider moving you to another place, but we need more details so that the party members can look into it.
Interior hospital, emergency room hallway, day. From the hallway, Nellie looks through a small window into the emergency room. Stoyan smokes a cigarette next to a window in hallway. In the emergency room, Milka gives birth to a little baby girl. Interior the tailor shop, day, super, spring, 1969. Milka walks into a well-lit medium-sized hall. Her belly has significantly grown. The tailor, Magda, 60, wears glasses. She works on an expensive coat using a sewing machine.
Hi, Magda. How's it going?
Same old gear is giving me a damn headache.
Listen, I've got this new job offer and I think a new dress will do me a world of good.
Of course. Just pick a color and tell me all about it.
Milka walks behind Magda and feels the fabrics.
Can I have silk?
Sure. Can you afford it?
Not right now, but I can pay you back later.
Magda takes off her glasses and turns around.
Can you make some of these handmade plaids in return? I know it's hard, but...
That's fine. I'll do it.
Interior the small grocery store, day. Milka stands behind the counter, wearing a beautiful silk brown dress that matches the color of her eyes. She carefully straightens items on the shelf behind the register. Stoyan walks into the store. He takes a bottle of liquor and a few packs of cigarettes. Puts them beneath his coat and prepares to leave the store. He stops at the exit and looks back at Milka. She stares at him nervously as he leaves the store. Later, it's almost night time. The store manager, 50s, glasses, female, walks through the front door.
It's getting cold outside. Let's wrap up for the week.
The store manager pulls out a binder with sheets of paper and places it on the counter. She makes a note on one of the sheets. Stops and looks at Milka.
Well,
sorry.
Milka picks up a report sheet from beneath the counter and hands it over with slightly trembling hands. The store manager doesn't seem to notice it.
Have you checked the numbers?
Yes.
Milka looks nervous while the store manager checks the report.
You said that you double-checked everything, right?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, well, it doesn't match up. Look.
She points out a particular section of the report and compares it to Milka's sheet.
I'm not sure how this happened.
Fine. You have till tomorrow to figure it out. I'll send the report at noon.
All right.
The store manager removes her glasses.
It's the third time this month. I hope this time it's just an accounting error. Otherwise, I can't cover up for you anymore.
I understand.
Interior the tenement house, hallway, night. Stoyan steps out of a public restroom.
We finally moved. It was a new place, new hope.
He staggers, fixes his trousers and walks ahead.
All I wanted back then was to be like my mother. Dedicated, honest, noble.
At the end of the hallway, he opens a door and walks into interior the tenement house, apartment, night. It is a room with 2 beds and everyday furniture, all in poor condition. Nellie sleeps in the smaller bed. Milka sits on a chair and looks through the window.
And all she ever wanted was a true family. A husband to love her, so she could love him back.
Stoyan stumbles in. He makes a few unsuccessful attempts to lock the door. Then, looks around and talks to Milka's back.
Where's the other bottle?
There is no other bottle. Not here, at least.
There is a bottle. You're lying to me. Why are you lying to me?
I'm not lying.
She stands up and faces him.
If there was a bottle, I would have thrown it out. Not hide it.
Fine. I'll check.
He looks at Nellie's bed and smiles.
So, she's hiding it, huh? The little bitch.
No, she's not. I told you to keep your liquor out of our home.
Why don't you ever shut up?
Please. She is sleeping.
Nobody touches my liquor but me.
What are you doing?
Stoyan walks up to Nellie's bed.
This is my house. My rules. It's all mine. I can do whatever I like. Wanna see?
Stop it. We're all tired. Let's just go to bed.
Oh no. 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 We'll do that later. Now, I'm gonna show you.
He starts to take off his clothes until he's completely naked. Stoyan reaches Nellie's bed. He whips off her blanket.
Wait! Stop.
Stoyan ignores her. He shoves Nellie sideways. She tosses and turns in bed, but her eyes remain closed. Stoyan removes her pillow and checks to see if the bottle is beneath Nellie. He smirks, turns around and walks out of the room. Milka puts the pillow back beneath Nellie's head and tucks her in with the blanket. She then rushes to the window and watches as Stoyan stumbles around outside, Completely naked, she searches for some clothes. Grabs a pair of pants and rushes through the front door. Exterior outside the tenement house, night. Milka runs outside. It is a large 3-story house with many tenement apartments. She reaches Stoyan, holding his pants. The street lamp illuminates them in a pale, yellow glow. Ingus, a large black dog, runs and barks at them.
Please, put these on. Everyone can see you.
Who can see me? Nobody can see me. It's dark. Don't you see?
A young boy watches the scene through an apartment window. His mother takes him away. Stoyan continues to walk along the street. Milka tries to hide his loins with a pair of pants. Interior darkness, Nellie's dream sequence. It's pitch black. A young girl's quick footsteps merge with her heavy breathing. It sounds like she's choking to death.
That night, just like many others before it, I felt the death hauling over me. Some people say they see a bright light. Well, for me it was just darkness.
The girl's footsteps pick up speed. She falls down and continues to choke. It's the horror of death and utter darkness surrounding it. Interior the tenement house, apartment, night. Everyone's asleep. Nellie wakes up and falls from her bed. She goes to Milka's bed and nudges her a few times.
What? What is it?
Mom. I had it again. That same dream.
Milka rubs the sleep from her eyes and gets up. She takes Nellie's hand and they both walk outside the room into interior the tenement house, hallway, continuous. Nellie sobs. Milka kneels down to her.
Tell me.
It was dark, but there was nobody else. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't breathe. I fell down and I felt like I was dying. Mommy, why do I keep dreaming this?
Come here.
Milka embraces her, while Nellie sobs.
Everything's okay. Mommy's always here. No one will hurt you. It was just a bad dream.
Milka looks at her.
Okay?
Okay.
You're a big girl.
Milka kisses her on the head and they both walk back into the apartment. Exterior the Sea Garden Park, day. Nellie and Milka stroll through a park alley near a precipice. They are both silent. Nellie stops at the edge of the cliff and shades her eyes while she looks at the sunny sky. Flying gulls cry out in the distance.
Be careful. You might trip.
I won't.
It's beautiful up here. So quiet.
Can we move out here?
One day. When Daddy gets his promotion, he can make us a beautiful wooden house right next to the sea. What do you say?
You're just talking.
Milka smiles.
Mark my words. One day, you'll wake up, look through your window and see the big blue sea in all of its beauty.
Interior the tenement house, apartment, night. Milka, Nellie and Stoyan sit at a small dining table with 3 plates and a nearly empty casserole pot in the middle of the table. The 3 of them eat a watered-down soup of lentils. Nellie drinks up the remaining soup off a plate. She wipes her mouth with a napkin.
Do you have more?
Milka takes Nellie's plate and brings it to her own. She reaches to pour her own soup into Nellie's plate.
I don't want yours.
It's okay, honey. I already ate.
No, I don't want it.
Milka smiles wistfully.
Listen, that's all we have for tonight, but your grandfather is going to send us some extra food this weekend, okay?
Stoyan stands up and leaves the table. Nellie hugs Milka.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I got you a little something from work.
Nellie looks at her.
Is it a cookie?
Well,
it's a cookie.
Yes, but only if you eat everything up. We have a deal?
Nellie smiles mischievously. Interior the tenement house, apartment, night. Stoyan smokes a cigarette. Milka reads a hardcover book. Nellie sleeps. A small window at the top helps the smoke to clear out of the room. Stoyan stands up and starts dressing.
Where are you going?
Out.
Out where?
Does it matter?
It matters because I don't even get to see you in the mornings.
Is that so?
Milka stands up.
Yes, and if the little one was here, you wouldn't dare to leave us like that.
Look at that. The lamb has teeth. If I remember correctly, it was your idea to leave her at your mama's place. So don't blame me for not being able to see my own kid.
You think I don't want it? It's all because you can't provide for the simple needs of your own family.
So now, it's my fault, huh? What about you? Have you ever thought about how I feel? Have you ever asked me if there is something I need?
He picks up the apartment keys from a nearby stand.
Where are you going?
I got a mistress.
That's not funny.
No, it's not.
Stoyan heads towards the window. Milka blocks his way.
Dad sent us the last of his savings, so Nellie doesn't have to starve.
Get out of my way.
No!
Stoyan pushes her away and goes to the window. He removes a piece of wood from the windowsill. The compartment is empty.
Where is it?
I hid it.
You did what?
You're not taking this girl's money. Not now. Not like this.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Stoyan flips a table out of his way and advances on Milka in a menacing manner. She steps back.
Where's the fucking money?
Milka continues to walk backwards.
Where is it? Huh?
She starts to cry. Stoyan raises his hand to slap her but stops because of the noise from Nellie's bed. She spasms in her sleep. Milka runs toward and shakes her.
Nellie, honey. Wake up. Wake up.
The door slams. Milka looks back. Stoyan is gone. Nellie opens her eyes.
Mommy, what happened?
Nothing, honey. It was just a nightmare.
Milka hugs Nellie and carefully lays her head on the pillow. She tucks her in.
Sleep tight now. Tomorrow, we'll go for an ice cream.
I love ice cream.
I know. I'll get you a vanilla ice cream.
But I like chocolate.
Okay, chocolate it is. But sleep now, or you're only going to get a vanilla.
Nellie frowns. Milka smiles and kisses her forehead. She stands up and sees Stoyan's jacket on the floor. Picks it up and stands there for a second. Then, she falls on her knees. Nellie hears her sob.
Mommy?
Yes, dear?
Nellie gets out of bed. She sees Milka clutching the picture of a younger woman along with Stoyan's jacket.
Who is this lady?
Milka wipes her eyes and turns around. She smiles to Nellie.
She's a friend of Dad's.
From his work?
I think so.
She looks pretty.
Yeah. All of Dad's friends are pretty. When you grow up, you'll have your own friends.
You promise?
I promise you'll have many friends and each of them will be very special to you.
Like how?
Milka sniffs.
Well, you're going to have a friend to play and share things with. Then, you're going to have another one whom you can trust with your deepest secrets. A pretty friend, so you have someone close to your beauty. And then you are going to have someone like me to tell you to go to bed, when you don't feel like it.
Milka starts to tickle Nellie, making her laugh. Then, she kisses her on the forehead.
Good night, sweetheart.
Nellie raises her torso from the bed.
Mommy, can we do a math problem?
What, now?
MMHM.
Milka smiles and takes a math textbook from the drawer. She puts on her glasses and starts to read.
Which weighs more? A pound of iron or a pound of copper?
They both weigh the same. A pound no more, no less.
Milka smiles.
When asked how old she was, Betty replied, in 2 years I will be twice as old as I was 5 years ago. How old is she?
Milka looks at her through her glasses.
Do you give up?
No, wait.
Nellie puts her index finger on her forehead.
She's 12.
Well done.
She starts bouncing on her bed. Sits back and smiles broadly.
Give me another.
It's getting late. You need to sleep.
Come on. Just one more.
Okay. Just one more.
Yes.
Milka reads from the textbook.
Here's a hard one. There are 3 boxes. One of the boxes contains only apples, one contains only oranges, and the last box has both apples and oranges.
Yummy.
The boxes have the wrong labels so that no label identifies the actual contents of the box. Opening just one box, and without looking in the box, you take out one fruit. By looking at the fruit, how can you immediately label all of the boxes correctly?
Nellie sits and looks down without moving.
Open the box that is labeled apples and oranges. You know, that since none of the labels are correct, the box must either contain only apples, or only oranges.
That's right.
Suppose you remove an apple from that box. So, that box must be the apples only box. One of the 2 remaining boxes must be the oranges only box.
All right.
However, one is labeled apples only, and the other is labeled oranges only. Therefore, the one labeled as apples only is the box that contains only oranges. And the box labeled oranges only is the box that contains both kinds of fruit.
Milka can't hold her smile. Nellie comes near her.
Am I right?
You're as smart as your grandpa.
I knew it. I knew it.
Nellie starts to jump around the room. She comes back and sits on the bed.
Give me the hardest one now.
Tomorrow, honey. Tomorrow.
She kisses Nellie. A tear falls down Milka's cheek.
Please, Mom. Please.
Okay, but then you go to bed. Deal?
Deal.
Milka reads from the textbook again.
There are 60 sweets in a jar. The first person took 1 sweet, and each consecutive person took more sweets than the person before until the jar was empty.
Nellie starts to bite her lip thoughtfully. Milka smiles.
What is the largest number of people that could have eaten sweets from the jar?
Nellie starts to think again.
You can't crack that one.
Yes, I can. And I will.
Nellie stands up and starts walking across the room. She talks to herself quietly. She stops and prepares to speak. Changes her mind and continues to walk around. She sees an empty jar and starts touching it.
The first person takes 1 sweet, the second 2, the third 3, and so on and on.
That's right.
1 plus 2 plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9 equals 45.
Milka chuckles.
So the first 9 people take 45 sweets between them. The 10th person takes 15 sweets. He or she can't possibly take fewer than 9, nor leave fewer than 11, otherwise the jar will not be empty.
Good point.
But then there won't be enough for the next person to follow the rule that each person takes more than the one before. So, the answer is 10 people.
Honey, you're a born genius.
Nellie gives a proud bow.
Thank you very much.
Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Milka sits in silence. Stoyan repairs an old radio at his desk. He stands up and picks up his jacket.
You forgot your jacket yesterday.
That's okay. It wasn't cold.
I'm sure it wasn't.
He ignores her and puts on his boots.
How long have you been with her?
Been with who?
The woman from that photo.
Oh, she is just a colleague.
MMHM. So, how long have you been working together?
Milka stands up in front of him.
Can you even hear yourself?
Yes, I can. How can you leave us every night to go and see this slut?
She's not a slut.
Oh, so you do know that, right?
Please, it's not.
What is it then? Huh? A fling? One night stand? Or maybe you're just planning to get rid of me the first chance you get.
Stoyan smashes his fist onto the table.
Fuck.
Milka remains silent.
Look, I'm not gonna apologize or explain myself to anyone. Especially you. If you wanna find this woman, fine. I'm gonna give you the address, so go out and ask her, but you ain't gonna hear a word from me about it. You understand?
Milka opens her mouth to speak, but restrains herself.
If you just cared, just asked me how I feel. Once. Like, one single time. We would have never had to have this conversation. But no. The good old wifey is always busy. Always doing something. So what? Now it's my fault?
Shame on you.
Yeah. That's right. Shame on me. Shame on me for being the drunk asshole I am. Shame on me for leaving my little girl to people I barely know. Shame on me for letting you slip every single day. Shame on me. Is this what you wanna hear? You wanna make me break it down and say it? All right. I'm ashamed. So what? Is it gonna make any fucking difference? Huh? Just?
Stoyan steps towards Milka and tries to touch her. She recoils.
Don't you ever touch me again.
Stoyan chuckles. He stops.
You see, it's fucking miserable.
Exterior the abandoned hotel, day. Nellie, with eyes closed, counts out loud.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60.
She turns around and uncovers her eyes. The whole place is in decay. She starts to look around. Walks up an old staircase. There is a carved writing on the wall. It reads Love Never Dies. M&S 1958 inches. Chris appears with a loud cry from behind. Nellie doesn't jump. She turns around and smirks at him. Chris sees the carving.
What's that?
Nellie moves her fingers through the carving. Exterior outside the tenement house, day. Chris and his mother, Dobrinka, send Nellie back to her house. The dog, Ingus, runs toward them. Dobrinka is a few feet away. She pulls Chris behind her. Nellie runs forward.
Ingus.
The dog stops in front of Nellie. She kneels. Ingus puts his front paws on her shoulders and sticks out his tongue.
Ingus. Give me a hug.
Chris breaks free from his mother and runs to Nellie. They both pet the dog and play with him. Dobrinka smiles.
Chris, we need to go. Daddy will be waiting.
Just one more minute.
After a few moments of playing, Chris goes to his mother. Nellie prepares to enter the house.
If you need anything, just call us. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Interior the tenement house, hallway apartment, continuous. Nellie knocks on the door of their apartment.
Mom.
She puts her ear to the door and hears someone sobbing. Nellie opens the door and enters the apartment. Milka lies sideways on her bed. Her back is turned towards Nellie.
Mom. Are you okay?
Milka turns around. Her eyes are puffy and red. She opens her arms.
Yes, Nellie. Come here.
They hug each other. Milka's tears streak down into Nellie's mouth.
Mom, it's salty.
Sorry, dear. Mommy had a really bad day. She won't cry anymore. Okay?
The phone rings. Nellie runs to pick it up.
Yes, I am Nellie. Who's calling?
Milka staggers from her bed.
She's indisposed right now.
Milka takes over the phone receiver.
It's Milka here. Who is this? Where did you get this number? Are you sure? This is nonsense. What?
She hangs up the phone receiver and stands still for a moment.
Who was it? Mommy.
Huh?
What did they say?
They said.
Milka sits on the nearby bed.
They said there's a curse.
A curse? What curse?
We're cursed.
How? I don't understand. Mommy?
Milka stands up. Her eyes wander. She looks desperate. Takes up a knife and approaches Nellie. Nellie steps back and starts to cry.
Mommy, what's going on?
Milka stops at her bed. She reaches down and starts slicing it with her knife. Nellie walks to the corner and kneels down, sobbing. Milka cuts all the sheets, quilts and even the mattress. She looks at the pillow on the ground. Takes it and rips it open. Pushes her hand inside. The cotton balls start falling from the pillow. She takes out a sheet of paper with text in Arabic. Staggers. Sits on her bed and looks at the sheet.
A curse.
She starts laughing hysterically. Gradually, her laughter melts into a desperate cry. Interior Davnia Chemical Factory, manager's office, day. Milka stands in front of a desk, wearing her brown silk dress. Her face is pale, but she has put on some makeup and lipstick to hide it.
Ever since that day, Mom was never the same. It was like she wanted to escape or distance herself. I don't know.
The factory manager, 50, white suit and glasses, sits across from her. He looks through Milka's portfolio.
She had that thought, that crazy, ludicrous idea that everything we went through, everything that happened was because of a curse. Magic, as she called it. Black magic that someone placed upon us.
The factory manager closes the folder.
Your qualifications pretty high, but you know the history of this place. Why do you want to be here?
I don't have that many options right now.
Well, if that's the case, we can offer you a 6-hour day, and the salary you requested.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Interior Davnia Chemical Factory, laboratory, day. Milka holds a measuring flask, making some kind of chemical analysis. Her face is worn and tired. At one point, she looks at her wristwatch. It shows 4:30 p.m. She kneels down. Sets up a makeshift bed with her lab coat and quickly drifts off. Later, sirens blast. A male's voice comes over the loudspeaker from the hallway. There has been a chlorine gas leak. Please proceed to an immediate evacuation point. Warning, all sectors proceed immediately to the nearest exit for evacuation. Milka is alone. She doesn't wake up. Interior Davnia Chemical Factory, hallway, day. A group of workers walk towards the exit.
It's gonna be at least a week until it clears out.
Nah, they stopped the leak. Won't be more than a day.
One of the workers, Ivan, 40, stops. He wears a hard hat and his face is covered in dirt.
Hey, I forgot the present.
You can't get back, man. They'll lock up the place any minute now.
It'll only take a minute.
Come on, man.
I promised my daughter. It's her birthday.
He shrugs and runs back. Interior Daythnia Chemical Factory, ground floor premises, day. The sirens continue to wail. Ivan coughs as the gas seeps into his lungs. He opens the door and enters. Interior Daythnia Chemical Factory, wardrobe lab, continuous. Ivan sees a large wrapped present. He grabs it and runs back out. Stops. Turns around and sees that the laboratory door is ajar. Ivan enters the lab. He coughs, while keeping his shirt at his nose. The room is full of gas. He sees Milka lying on the ground. Lifts her up and puts her hand across his shoulder. Exterior outside the Daythnia Chemical Factory, day. The workers stand in silence near the back gate.
He must have.
Shut up. We gotta go in.
The levels will be too high by now.
The gate opens with a kick. Ivan appears holding Milka. She is unconscious. The workers run down to help him. They put her on the ground. Worker 3 feels for her pulse.
Call an ambulance.
Interior hospital, waiting room patient's bedroom, day. Kia, 50, Milka's mother, sits alone. She is a village woman with a kerchief wrapped around her head. She holds a small bag. A physician, 45, approaches her.
You can see her now.
Kia steps inside a small patient's room. Milka is lying on the bed. She is awake. Kia sits next to her and takes out a box of chocolates.
How do you feel today?
Milka turns her head sideways and looks away.
We need to talk about it.
No.
Mitchie, it will only get worse.
I'm not getting a divorce, okay? I won't do that to my girls.
After all this, they will give you custody.
Milka is silent.
Just tell me why. Huh? Why are you doing this to yourself?
He'll change.
No, he won't.
Stop it. I'm not going to leave these girls without a father.
They don't need a.
I'm not going to bring them that shame. You understand?
He is their shame. He shames you too. You got her?
Please leave.
But
I want to be left alone.
Milka stares at the ceiling. Kia stands up and prepares to leave. At the door exit, she turns around.
You can't go on like this. I won't allow it. I'm gonna talk to her.
Milka looks at her hesitantly. Interior Communist Party headquarters, ground floor, day. Nidaka walks into the Communist Party headquarters. The doorkeeper greets her.
Which floor is it?
Sorry, I think they started a few minutes ago.
Nidaka looks at him angrily.
I'll make a call. Just a sec.
He picks up the phone, dials a number and waits.
Nedyoka is here. She wants to come up. Okay, yes, I understand. Thank you.
He lowers down the phone receiver.
6th floor.
Interior Communist Party headquarters, board hall, day. Nidaka walks into a large conference room. Many party members sit on the both sides of 2 long tables. They are in a conference session. Nidaka whispers to a man in a suit and walks to the podium. She speaks into the microphone.
Dear party members.
Everyone looks at her.
I've come here today with a request. A personal appeal to each of you who may have been in, or understand, the position I find myself in at this very moment.
Interior Communist Party headquarters, Molov's office, day. There is a knock on the door.
Come in.
Nidaka walks inside the office. Molov waves a hand, inviting her to sit. She sits.
Well?
They're going to give him a penalty.
How bad is it?
It's pretty severe. He won't get any promotion, and there will be more.
And the woman?
I wouldn't worry about her. She won't be a problem anymore.
Nidaka freezes, then stands up and leaves the office.
It was his own mother that shattered her son's future. For good or bad, she was a brave woman.
Interior the tenement house, apartment, day, super, fall, 1969. Young Nelly stares out the window. Ingus lies in a chair next to her. His head is on her lap and his eyes are drowsy. She pets him on the head.
Many months passed and I'll never forget how much I longed to see my mother back home again. I stood by that window all day long, waiting. Every second felt like a long stretched hour.
Nellie hears a car's engine outside. She jumps with joy. The doors of the car open and Milka steps out.
Hurry. You have to go, before they get here.
Ingus stirs. Nellie waves him on.
Come on, hurry.
The dog jumps off of the couch and follows Nellie outside the apartment. Exterior outside the tenement house, day. Stoyan supports Milka as they walk out of the car. The driver, Boris, 45, gets out too.
You need a hand?
Thanks, Boris. We'll be fine.
All right. Call me if you need anything.
He steps back into the car and drives away. Milka and Stoyan step inside the house. Interior the tenement house, apartment, continuous. The door opens and Milka enters. Nellie runs up and hugs her.
Mommy. I missed you so much.
Me too, dear. I missed you too.
Nellie looks at her and smirks. Stoyan prepares a chair. He notices Nellie's smirk.
What?
I think Nellie already knows about her new dress for the first day at school.
Is that so?
Yes. I asked the tailor.
All right. I hope you like it.
He helps Milka sit in the chair. She winks at Nellie. Interior post office, day. Milka walks into the post office. She goes to the front desk. The post office woman behind the desk opens a small window.
Hey, I heard what happened at the factory. Are you all right?
Yeah, I feel much better now. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. That factory is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
The post office woman checks a sheet, then slides it, together with a small package, through the window.
Every 10 days. Your father is a good man.
Exterior the street, day. Milka, Stoyan and Nellie walk along the street. Nellie looks excited. She runs back and forth. Ingus chases her and then she chases him.
That day on the street. It was the happiest day of my life. I felt like everything we went through was worth it. For that one moment, we were finally together.
Milka looks better and her face is bright again. Stoyan is lost in thought and serious. Milka nudges him.
What do you think?
About what?
I haven't seen her so excited in ages.
Yeah, well, tomorrow's her first day at school.
Have you thought of Svitla?
Every day.
She's all grown now. We ought to bring her home.
The family arrives at a highway crossroad. Stoyan sees a liquor store.
Wait here. I'll be back in a moment.
Come on. Do you have to?
Stoyan begins to cross the street. Halfway across, Ingus follows him. Milka and Nellie talk joyfully, while they wait.
What color is it? Tell me.
You'll see.
I don't want to look ridiculous.
I promise you won't.
Come on. Tell me.
Stoyan walks out of the liquor store from across the street. He starts to cross the highway. Ingus follows him at a distance. As Stoyan steps on the sidewalk, a fast-speeding car bolts out of nowhere and strikes Ingus, who is still on the highway.
Ingus.
The car races further and continues on its way. Nellie tries to run forward. Milka holds her back. A tear falls down her cheek. Nellie is in tears.
Isn't it strange how life knocks you down when you least expect it? One brief moment of true happiness was all I got. All we got.
Ingus's crushed body lies on the highway. Right next to it, Nellie sees his heart popped out of his chest. It's still beating. Pulsing and ebbing. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. The front door opens and Nellie walks in. Her eyes are red and she sniffs. She goes to her bed and lies down on her stomach. Milka and Stoyan step inside. Stoyan tries to speak, but Milka gives him an angry look. He shrugs and walks out. Milka sits next to Nellie. She strokes her hair. Nellie cries silently.
He's in a better place, you know?
What do you mean?
There's this place, beyond our world, where all the good animals go. It's where all the dogs, cats and birds come together and play all day long. They're all happy there.
How do you know?
Well, when I was at the hospital, I saw it for one brief moment.
Nellie turns around.
Really?
Yes. It was a beautiful place, with animals everywhere. Playing and jumping and talking, like real people. They never got tired.
Animals can't talk.
Not here, they can't. But out there, they can speak to each other just like we do.
Can I go there?
No, dear. It's their special place and I could only look for a moment.
Can I look, too?
Milka smiles and shakes her head. Nellie is about to cry.
Manny was there too.
Granny's parrot?
Yes. He was talking all the time, teasing the dogs. They would chase him, but he would always fly away before they reached him.
Nellie sobs.
So Gus is okay now?
Yes, dear. He's okay. Now, do you want to see the dress we got you for tomorrow?
No, I don't want it.
Come on. You've been waiting for it so long.
Nellie sobs again.
Give me just 1 second.
Milka leaves the room for a moment but then returns, wearing her own silk dress. She walks over to Nellie quietly and starts tickling her. Nellie tries to get away, but she can't. She starts to laugh.
Stop it.
Milka continues to tickle her on the bed. Nellie finally gets away. She looks up. Her eyes widen at the sight of Milka's dress.
How do you like it?
Now.
Now, let's get your dress. Shall we?
Interior the tailor's shop. Day. Milka and Nellie step inside the tailor's shop. Magda sits on her chair. She sees them and smiles. She gets up and disappears into the back of the shop. Nellie looks around. She touches a blue linen cloth. Magda reappears behind Nellie, carrying Nellie's dark blue velvet dress. Milka looks at Magda and puts her finger to her lips. She covers Nellie's eyes with one hand.
Close your eyes. Don't look.
Milka removes her hand. Nellie's eyes remain closed.
Don't open them yet. Not until I tell you.
Milka drapes the dress over Nellie.
Not yet. Step carefully.
Nellie holds Milka's hand and allows her mother to lead her to a mirror.
You can open your eyes now.
Nellie opens her eyes in amazement.
I told you you'd like it.
Nellie hugs her.
I love you.
Interior dim of house, bedroom, night, present day, year 1990. Valerie's eyes are filled with tears.
You know, sometimes life makes you feel so unfortunate and sad, but then there comes this moment. A brief moment of true bliss, when you feel really.
Valerie grasps her hand.
Happy.
She places Valerie's hand to her belly, and smiles. Exterior Nellie's block, 8th floor, day, present day, year 1990. Nellie walks along the corridor. She reaches a wide front door and rings the bell. The door opens and Lecco, a middle-aged man with a kind face, appears. He smiles, then disappears and in a moment comes back, holding a jar containing yellow juice.
Just like you asked.
Then Gus said it would help. How much do I owe you?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Nellie takes the jar and nods appreciatively. Interior dim of house, hallway, day, the doorbell rings. Milka runs to open it. A few officials in white suits and masks appear. They carry long spraying machines with them. One of them, a man with glasses, steps up.
Is this the Daimar family?
Yes, it is.
The nameplate says Telefonchev.
I'm sorry. We haven't had a chance to change it yet. What is this all about?
We're with the hygiene epidemiological inspection. It's the jaundice. We need to perform disinfection.
Is this necessary?
Quite so, I'm afraid. Please, step aside.
Milka moves away and the officials step inside and look around the hallway. They begin to disinfect the house. Milka looks at them with worrying eyes. Interior hospital, patient's bedroom, day. Svetla lies on a hospital bed in a medium-sized room. Stoyan appears at the door, holding a small box. He smiles.
Hey.
Hey.
Stoyan walks to her and sits on the bed.
How are you feeling?
Do I sense some irony?
Stoyan smiles and hands her the small box.
I got you something.
Svetla opens it. It's the book Misery by Stephen King.
Right now, all I need is to get a little more depressed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I know how much you like him.
Yeah. What did the doctor say?
You're gonna get better. Just keep resting, and don't worry about anything.
With this book? I highly doubt it.
Well, I can take it back.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna let you.
She smiles.
Okay then.
He stands up and prepares to leave.
Tell me again. How did we get here?
Stoyan turns back and reaches her.
I know it's been hard. Half the city is infected and the rationing. We can't even wash our hands well. But
No, I mean. After all we had to endure, now this. It's too much. Don't you think?
The night is darkest just before the dawn. Nellie.
She'll be fine, as always.
Yeah.
Interior Hospital, Infection Department, day. Nellie and Milka sit side by side in the waiting room. Milka touches Nellie's hand gently.
It'll be all right. You'll see.
I know.
You have at least 2 more weeks to make the abortion. That's before the HPV incubation period is over. We just need today's results to be positive.
God will take care of us. He always has. He always will.
She smiles. Milka touches a golden cross necklace that hangs from her neck.
That's a beautiful necklace. I haven't seen it on you before.
It's from my father.
Grandpa Sarville?
Yes. Do you want to know how he got it?
Sure.
Milka looks at the small crucifix of her necklace. Nellie huddles close and rests her head on Milka's shoulder.
It was a long time ago.
Exterior the village road, day. Flashback, Super, Alexandrovo, Bulgaria, 1948. It's dusk. Stefan, a young man in his 20s, walks with haste. He wears dirty clothes and his face is covered in mud. As he limps forward, Stefan keeps looking back over his shoulders. His eyes fixate on the crossroad leading to the village highway.
My mother said it was a rough time back then. She and father were living under the Iron Curtain. Her older brother, Stefan, just got commissioned outside their village and then...
Stefan stops at a house midway down the road. He knocks a few times on the front door. A young woman's face appears at the second-floor window. The girl sees Stefan and draws the curtains. He knocks one more time. There is no response. Stefan heads back to the road and steps on a front-page news sheet in a puddle. Its headline reads, "The Great Purge has come. Beware the terror at your doorsteps." Smaller letters, the rumor that a number of people have been summoned to answer in front of the party has recently been confirmed by a legitimate source. Most of these people have never returned after being taken away for questioning. Stefan reaches a narrow path going downhill with houses against each other on both sides starting from the top of the main road. Exterior the downhill path, day. Stefan walks down with difficulty. 50 yards down the road, a couple of men sit and talk loudly on a bench near one of the houses. One of them nods in Stefan's direction. The other man stands up. Both of them step inside their house. Stefan arrives at a large adobe house midway down the road. He stops at a green gate. Looks around and pushes his hand through a mailbox at the top of the gate. His hand reaches the bolt and unlocks it. He opens the gate and enters. Exterior Kia's house backyard, day. It's almost dark. Stefan closes the gate quietly. There is a small passage, leading to the house yard and a few buildings near it. Stefan steps inside a small backyard. It's a small lawn with a soap cauldron still boiling. Stefan takes off his dirty clothes. He puts his shirt beneath a water pump and gets it wet. Cleans his face with a watered shirt and throws all his clothes into the boiling cauldron. A man and a woman have dinner at a moderate table. Kia, 24, is a young village woman wearing a kerchief. Her husband, Sava, 26, is a balding young man with brown eyes and neat clothes. They are about to have dinner. Stefan arrives behind them, smiling. He wears new clothes and carries a wrapped gift. Kia's eyes widen and she goes to hug him. Sava stands up. He looks at them with a smile on his face. Kia looks at Stefan. She sees a dirty spot on his forehead, licks her thumb and cleans the spot. Stefan hands over the small gift to her.
This is for you.
She picks it up and smiles.
You didn't think I'd forget my big sister, did you?
Come on, now. Tell us. How did it go?
As a first time, it was good. I got another assignment, so I'll be going out again soon.
How soon?
Don't know yet, but I hope to stay for a while.
Kia hugs him again. Stefan nods at Salva.
So, tell us then. Did you see anything interesting?
He prepares a chair at the table. Stefan sits.
Not much, actually. I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Have you read the newspaper?
I try to stay away from that rag sheet.
Yeah, right.
Sava?
I'm just asking.
It's okay. I'm just a postman.
A postman, you say?
I think that's enough.
The doorbell rings. Sava stands up. Stefan's face drains of color.
It's Bango. He must have come for the motorbike.
Stefan, what is it?
Sava stops. They both look at Stefan. His face is pale.
I think it's for me.
He stands up and prepares to leave. Turns around.
I just wanted to see you, and I'm not sure when I can visit again. So, Sava, take good care of her. You both try to stay out of trouble, okay?
Kia stands up and grabs his hand.
What's going on?
Stefan is quiet. A tear rolls down his cheek.
I love you, sis.
What?
She takes a step back.
No, you can't. I won't let them.
It's okay.
Kia puts her head against his chest and starts crying.
It's all right.
Exterior outside Kia's house. Day. A middle-aged communist in official uniform under a raincoat stands on the porch of the house. The communist wears a communist ushanka. He's accompanied by several officers with peaked caps. The communist rings the doorbell. His face is emotionless. The door opens and Sava appears from inside the house. The communist greets him with a smile.
How may I help you, comrades?
My name is Valko. I'm here to see my good friend Stefan.
He's not here right now.
Oh, well. We'll just have to wait for him then. Would you please, let us in?
We haven't seen him for a while. I'm not sure if he'll be visiting us soon.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I'm afraid I have to insist.
Exterior Kia's house. Day. Sava, Valko and the other officers show up near the dinner table. An old record plays Mozart's Requiem in D minor at a reasonably low sound. Kia stands up and smiles at Valko. He removes his ushanka and bows from the waist.
Ma'am.
We're honored to have you in our humble house.
The honor is all mine. We came to see Stefan, but your husband told us that he is not around, so we are slightly disappointed.
Valko smiles again.
But now when I see your dinner table, this wonderful music, I almost can't help but ask if we can join you.
Certainly. Though we haven't got anything special for someone like you and your comrades.
Oh. Don't worry about it. I've heard a lot of rumors in this smell. I just can't resist it.
Valko smiles again. He sits at Stefan's place by the table. He invites everyone to sit with a smiling gesture.
The military food is honestly disgusting. You won't believe it. The chemicals they put in to hide the smell. It's outrageous. And this is real food.
He takes a spoonful.
Delicious.
Kia walks to the gramophone and prepares to stop the music.
No, no, no. Leave it. It's so beautiful.
Kia walks back to the table and sits. Valko looks at the house buildings.
So, how long have you been living here?
5-6 years now.
It's a beautiful place.
Indeed. Would you like me to show you around?
Oh no, I wouldn't dream of indulging such a request, especially at this hour. I don't wish to take up so much of your time.
Sava takes a sip of wine.
So, why are you looking for Stefan?
Well, he's got some matters to clear out, you know.
Nothing serious, I hope.
Of course not. It's just a formality.
I see.
A word of wisdom. Don't trust the underground papers. They're just trying to scare you off and put the blame on us, so they get a head start.
Head start on what?
Everything, dear comrade brother. Chaos, rebellions, anarchy.
And how do you plan to stop them?
Well, we question some of them. Eventually, they give away their allies and so you go.
Kia has barely touched anything on her plate. Sava prepares to talk, but Valko holds up a finger to silence him.
Tell me. How long has it been since you last saw Stefan?
I'm not sure. 2, maybe 3 weeks.
And he hasn't called you or sent a message since?
Not that I know of.
Valko pushes back his chair and prepares to stand up.
Ma'am, it has been a wonderful dinner. I'll recommend our chef to take some lessons from you. Maybe you'll even replace him one day.
He smiles and stands up. The officers begin to stand up.
You gentlemen can stay and finish up your dinner. I'll light up a cigarette and we can go when you're ready.
Valko walks away from the table. Exterior Kia's house. Outside the well. Night. Valko leans his back on an old well. He smokes a cigarette. Sava approaches him. He holds a glass of wine in his hand.
You need company.
By all means.
Sava drinks from his glass. Valko offers him a cigarette. Sava shakes his head.
I don't smoke.
An abstainer, eh?
Only when it comes to smoking.
Smart man.
Valko takes a drag of his cigarette. A small part of the burning tobacco falls into the empty well. It reaches the bottom, where Stefan sits quietly in a corner.
So, tell me. How do you get clean water around here? I notice everything is so... Pardon my language, old.
We added pipes. I engineered most of them. The first of their kind for this place.
That's impressive. I was wondering. Do you also get water from this well?
Sometimes.
Interesting. I would say it's a perfect place.
Perfect how?
Hideout. In the case of a bombing or so. You know, I lived in the London suburbs during the war. I always dreamed of such a place back then.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. It is. Now, I have a special request.
Go ahead.
Please, tell your friend to climb up the ladder so we can go together in peace. If I have my men go down there, who knows how it's gonna end up, and... I know you don't want any of that.
I can assure you that the well is quite empty at this time of the year.
Yeah.
He waves to his officers. They all stand up and approach the well. Kia comes with them. Her face looks pale and worried.
Last chance.
Sava stands quietly. Valko makes a sign and one of his officers climbs down the well's rope, while another officer holds the rope from above. Valko, Sava, Kia and the other officers stand in silence. Suddenly, the officer from inside the well shouts,
"There's no one here." There must be.
Kia almost smiles.
Just rats, but I don't see any exit.
Valko makes a sign to the second officer to pull him back. Exterior Kia's house, porch, night. Kia and Sava send off Valko and his officers. In the doorway, Valko stops and turns around.
You know the tide is rising at this time of the year.
Sava freezes.
Just a thought.
Valko smiles briefly and leaves the house. The door closes. Sava locks it in haste. He looks at Kia and speaks with a hoarse voice.
The well.
Kia runs across the yard. Sava follows her. Exterior Kia's house, outside the well, night. They reach the well.
You're lighter. I'll help you down.
Kia gets on the rope. She holds the handle of a lantern between her teeth. Sava helps her get inside the well. Exterior Kia's house, inside the well, night. Kia reaches down. She pushes a brick and a small, secret passage opens up on the floor.
Stefan, are you all right?
There is no response. Kia places the lantern down on the ground. She grips the slab on the floor and tries to move it, but it's too heavy. Sava watches her from above.
Wait.
Exterior Kia's house, the yard workshop, night. Sava runs across the yard and enters a medium-sized workshop. He switches on the light. The single lamp blinks once. The place is full of machinery and all kinds of tools. Sava searches in haste. He finds a large crowbar and runs outside. Exterior Kia's house, inside the well, night. Kia still tries, unsuccessfully, to move the floor slab. A bucket on the rope begins to descend into the well. It has the wrench inside. Once it comes down, Kia grabs the crowbar and uses it to move the stab. Sava looks from above. A water hole appears. Kia jumps into it. In a moment, she appears holding Stefan. She pulls him onto the floor.
Stefan?
Kia places her ear to his chest, listening for his breath, but there is none.
Stefan? Stefan? Wake up.
She slaps him in the face.
Wake up.
She pumps his chest in an attempt to implement CPR. Stefan doesn't move. She tries mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but it doesn't work.
Come on.
She tries another unsuccessful pump on his chest, then slaps him on the face.
Come on, you bastard.
Kia makes another mouth-to-mouth resuscitation attempt. Again, she tries to compress his chest. She lowers her head and listens for his breath. Nothing. She stands up. leans against the wall and breathes heavily. Kia slowly slides down until she is sitting. She looks at Stefan in shock. Then, she stands up and goes to him. Pushes his head against the wall.
You can't do that. You can't leave me like this. You hear?
She tries another pump on his chest and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Bends down and listens for his breath. Tries another pump, then stops. She hugs him and slowly bursts into tears. Sava looks at them, frozen.
Many years after that fateful day, my mother and father still carried the weight. Like the pain never really left. It was still out there. With them.
Interior Kia's house, day, super, 21 years later, it's early dawn. Sava wakes up next to Kia, who sleeps. His head is almost bald. He stands up quietly and gets dressed into his working clothes. Walks out of the house into exterior Kia's house, barn, day. The barn is a very neat, but somewhat sad place. Sava heads to a small cattle shed and prepares food for the animals. Most of them are still sleeping. A medium-sized black dog sees him, but it doesn't bark. The dog crouches happily. Sava walks toward the dog and pets him on the head. Without a smile, he enters the workshop, interior the Party Workers Club, day. A group of people, ranging from middle-aged to quite old, sit around a medium-sized hall. They talk with each other intensely. Spyro, 60, an older man with dark hair and mustache, talks negatively.
It's too important. We've entrusted this to the wrong person.
Let's give him some credit. He did quite a few things for our community.
Yes, but what has he done for the party, eh? Nothing. He's been an enemy of the state for 2 decades now. That's 20 years.
The man is a genius. Only a fool would question it. It's just his loyalty.
Exactly. That's what makes him even more dangerous. The party may look on him as a hero, but deep down, I know he hates us all.
All the other men shout affirmatively.
Remember, he's the one who we've trusted with this new machine. How do we know he hasn't made it malfunction?
We can't.
Let's give him some time. The man was awarded with an inventor certificate by the party commission itself. He must be doing something right.
Would you trust this man with yours and your comrades' lives? I mean, come on, guys. This man stinks all the way to his feet.
A male's voice shouts through the open door.
This man lost everything 20 years ago.
Valko steps through the door from the dark hallway. He is aged. His face is full of wrinkles and his hair is grizzled.
Mr. Valko, we didn't know you were coming today.
Should I notify you next time?
No, it's just, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence.
Save your compliments. Where's the device?
One of the villagers should be here any minute. In fact, he's already late.
So, what are you doing here then?
Well, sir, we're waiting, but, yes, I'll check it out.
Spyro steps out of the hall. Valko walks toward an old piano. He starts playing a beautiful, but complicated and heavy melody. The door opens. He stops playing. Sava enters the hall. He carries a large bag. Without saying a word, he leaves the bag on a table among the crowd and turns to leave. Valko picks up the melody again, playing a portion of Mozart's Requiem. Sava stops. He turns back and stares at Valko's back. Valko finishes playing and turns his head to look at Sava. Sava stands for a moment, and then leaves the hall. Interior Kia's house, main hall, day. Sava opens the door and steps inside. Kia removes a teapot from the stove.
You'll never believe whom I saw today.
Milka called this morning. She said that there is a house opening. It's a beautiful place.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking maybe you can ask some of your party friends to help you out.
No.
Come on, Sava.
Stop it.
This is a new chance for them. They can buy the house for practically no money.
Sava sits on a chair and looks down.
How much?
It's almost nothing compared to.
How much?
20,000.
Sava shakes his head and prepares to head outside. He stops.
I'll ask.
He steps out of the room. Interior Petrov's house yard, day. Sava rings the bell. A servant opens the front gate. He smiles and invites Sava in. Sava steps into the front yard of a rich, prosperous house. Interior Petrov's house, main hall, day. It's a wide room with expensive furnishing. Petrov, 42, a short-sized man with a moustache, wears a morning gown. He lies on a long couch and drinks coffee from a small table next to it. Sava stands across from him.
That house you're telling me about. How much is it going to cost?
20,000.
And you agree to return the money with a commission?
Yes, I do.
See, my friend. In any other circumstance, I would have helped you, but this is a large amount. You just can't pay it back.
I will.
No, you won't. Look, the party acknowledges your skills and everything you've done, since the thing is, you don't earn much.
Mr. Petrov, believe me, if there was any other place I could go, I wouldn't be here.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Exterior the Party Workers Club, day. It rains. Sava covers his head with a newspaper. He sees a militia officer near the club.
Is Volko there?
He left an hour ago.
Which way?
Troyan, I think. Then, he's going back to Moscow.
Thank you.
Exterior near the railway station, day. The rain continues to fall. Sava runs toward the railway station. Exterior railway station platform, continuous. Sava steps on the platform. The train has just started to move away. Sava rushes forward and grabs the metal ladder at the back of the train. He climbs to the top of the coach and crouches on his knees, removes his hat and lets the falling rain pour on his head. Exterior city of Troyan, railway station platform, night. Sava climbs down from the train just before it stops. He jumps from the train and runs toward the station. Exterior city of Troyan, streets, night. The rain continues. Sava runs through the street. He approaches a building with big board that says Communist Party, City of Troyan. Sava enters the building, interior Communist Party building, continuous. Two guards see Sava and approach him.
Excuse me, sir. You can't be in here.
Have you seen Major Volko?
No, sir. You have to leave.
I need to speak to him, please.
The two guards take Sava and push him out of the building. Falling on the ground, he sees a small gold necklace. He picks it up and looks at it. A car horn beeps in front of him. As the car halts, Sava puts up his hand to cover the bright headlights. He stands up and recognizes Valko sitting in the back seat. Valko opens the door and steps outside. Sava clutches the golden necklace in his fist. Interior hospital, infection department, day, present day, year 1990. The door opens and an assistant nurse steps out from the cabin. She smiles and waves at Milka, inviting her in. Milka stands up and walks towards the cabin.
Wait.
Milka turns around and looks at Nelly.
What happened to him?
Milka lowers her eyes, then she enters the cabin. Interior dim of house, bedroom, day, super. 3 months later, someone knocks on the bedroom door. Nelly lies down. She doesn't move. The knock is repeated, this time stronger. Nelly stands up with difficulty. Her face is strained, sick. She puts on her slippers and opens the door. Milka appears. Her hair has faded to an ashy white. She has dark shadows under her eyes.
You don't look well. We have to move your bed.
No,
That wasn't a question.
Interior dim of house, living room, night. Valerie sits next to Nelly's bed and grips her hand. She looks very sick. Milka and Stoyan step inside the room. They're arguing.
How can you keep doing this here?
Just give it a rest, will you?
No, I won't. You'll either stop smoking or get out of this house.
What did you just say?
Valerie stands up.
Hey guys. Now is not the time.
Stoyan shakes his head.
I have to check my blood pressure. Valerie, would you help me, please?
Stoyan steps out of the room and slams the door behind him. Valerie helps put the sphygmomanometer on Milka's upper arm to measure her blood pressure.
I can't believe it. Nelly is right here and he acts like we're...
Hold still.
He puts the cuff smoothly and snugly around her upper arm. Milka sobs.
I just don't know what to do anymore.
Valerie ignores her and continues to measure her blood pressure using the sphygmomanometer. Milka wipes away a couple of tears from her eyes.
180/120. It's too high.
Nelly pushes herself up from her bed.
Mom. Are you okay?
Milka embraces her.
Please, Mom. You worry too much. I'll be fine.
I know, dear. I know.
Nellie coughs up blood on Milka's back. Milka tucks her in.
Just like old times, eh? I almost forgot. We need to send the new medicine to Svitla.
She stands up and heads for the exit.
I won't be long.
She leaves the room. Valerie strokes Nellie's hair. She coughs up more blood. He wipes it away with a small towel.
We never finished the story, you know?
You should rest now.
No, please. Let me tell you.
Exterior the street, day, flashback, year 1969. Milka and Nellie walk down the street. Nellie wears her velvet dress. She walks around and whirls.
I remember that day. It was the first time I saw my mom really wanted something. Something else. Something beautiful.
Milka and Nellie approach a toy store. Nellie looks inside through the shop window.
Is there something you like?
Not. It's just kid stuff.
Milka smiles. She looks at the shop window.
I think that's cute.
She points to a plush toy of a puppy and a cat lying in a small basket. Nellie looks at the price tag. It reads 1.30 laves, interior the tenement house, apartment, night. Nellie and Milka step inside the apartment. Stoyan smokes. The whole room is filled with smoke. Milka goes to open the window. Nellie hangs up her coat and sees Stoyan in front of a chessboard. She approaches him and looks at the pieces.
What's this?
It's called chess.
Is it a game?
Yeah, it's a game.
Can you show me?
Sure.
Nellie sits in front of him. Her eyes glow with excitement. Stoyan picks up a piece from his side.
That's a pawn. It can only go forward, never to the back. If it's on a starting position, it can move 2 squares ahead. If it's anywhere else, only 1. The weakest piece on the board, but if it gets to the last rank, it can become a queen.
Cool.
He picks up another piece.
That's a rook.
A rook?
A castle to you. It can go anywhere horizontally and vertically, but it can't jump or move diagonally.
Aha. What about this one?
Nellie points to the knight.
That's a knight. Pretty sneaky piece. It can jump over other pieces, and make combinations on both white and dark squares.
Stoyan points at the queen.
This is the queen, or as I call it, Feldmarschall. Strongest piece in chess. It can go as high as a rook, and it works on diagonals too.
I like to call it a queen.
Well, that's what it's called, officially. Pretty stupid if you ask me, as it's better than the king, and it shouldn't be.
So, it's the most important piece in chess.
No. Most important is the king. If you lose it, the game's over. You hear that, woman?
Yeah, I know how to play.
Yeah, you do. So, you got any questions?
No. Let's play.
Stoyan moves the white pawn in front of his king 2 squares ahead. Nellie puts her index finger to her chin. She taps thoughtfully, then picks up the black pawn in front of her king and moves it 2 squares ahead. Right in front of the white pawn. She smirks. Moments later, Stoyan smokes. Nellie is left with only a few pieces on the board against almost all of Stoyan's.
I see a 3-move combination.
She moves her queen up in the middle of the board. Stoyan puffs smoke from his cigarette and looks at her. He picks up his knight and takes Nellie's queen. Nellie looks at the board very sadly. She moves her rook in front of her king, but Stoyan takes it up with his own queen.
That's a checkmate.
Nellie looks up. She is almost ready to cry.
Can we play another?
No. You're too weak.
Nellie gets up from her chair. She walks to Milka, hugs her and starts to cry loudly. Milka pats her head.
It's okay, honey. Daddy didn't want to make you feel bad. He just wants you to learn, okay?
Nellie continues to cry even louder. Milka pushes her back gently and looks at her face.
Come on now. I promise to teach you so you can beat him next time, alright? Now, let's get you ready for school. Tomorrow's a big day.
Nellie's face returns its brightness and she hugs her again. Milka kisses her on the forehead and stares at Stoyan. She mouths, "Why at him?"
That was my one and only time I ever played chess. It was a magical, beautiful game, but I never played again.
Interior dim of house, living room, night, present day, year 1991. Valerie sits and listens. Nellie looks at him and smiles.
Now you know why I never wanted you to teach me.
If we get through this, I promise to teach you no matter what.
No, but maybe you can teach our son.
Valerie kisses her hand. Exterior St. Nicola bus stop. Day. Flashback. Year 1969. Milka and Stoyan wait at a bus stop. Nellie strolls around with excitement. She wears the velvet dress with brand new sandals.
Next day was the first day at school. I was going to meet new people. Make new friends. I was so excited.
Stoyan lights a cigarette. Milka makes an inviting gesture and Nellie comes closer. She fixes Nellie's collar.
Remember, stay focused and just be yourself, all right?
And don't let any boys come near you.
Milka looks at him angrily. He puffs his cigarette. The bus is coming. On its front, a large plate reads 309. Milka hands over a few coins to Nellie.
This is for the bus and lunch. Don't lose it.
The bus stops and Nellie steps in. She finds a place near a window. As the doors close, Milka waves goodbye. Nellie waves back at her too. Interior the bus. Day. The conductor, 40, a woman in blue uniform and a conductor's hat, walks over to Nellie. The conductor's face is stern.
10 coins.
Nellie pulls out some coins from her pocket. She starts counting them. The conductor smiles.
If you get on from the Acacia station, it'll only cost you 3.
What do you mean?
You can take the next stop and walk on foot, then get on the next bus from the Acacias. It's cheaper.
Nellie's eyes glow.
And I'll save 7 coins.
That's right.
Nellie rises and makes her way to the bus door. Exterior the Acacias bus stop. Day. Nellie gets off the bus and it drives off. The station is empty. A misty fog fills the air. Nellie shivers. She puts her hands into her sleeves and starts walking. The road near the highway is full of dirt. The mud spatters her new shoes. She sees a beggar ahead, walking towards her. She stops and tries to cross the highway. A car speeds by her. She steps back on the footpath. The beggar approaches her. Nellie walks towards him in fear. As they pass by each other, Nellie sees his disfigured face. The beggar has a burned right eye and skin. Nellie freezes. The beggar stops and looks at her. He bows.
Young miss, you wouldn't happen to have a few coins to spare for a poor old soul, to buy some bread?
Nellie comes to her senses. She pushes her hand in her pocket and pulls out all her coins. She hands them over. The beggar takes 2 of them. He nods.
Thank you, miss, it's very kind of you. Thank you.
It was also the day I learned the most important lesson of my life.
Exterior the school. Day. Nellie enters an elementary school. The hallway is empty. A large clock shows 7:45 a.m. The janitor sweeps the floor. He sees Nellie and looks at her shoes. She stops and sees the muddy trails she has made on the clean floor.
I'm so sorry, sir.
The serious face of the janitor shifts to a smile.
Is this your first day?
Yes, sir.
You gotta hurry. The class started already.
Nellie takes off her shoes and runs past him. Exterior school, hallway, day. Nellie looks at the doors, trying to figure out which one is her class. A young man, 20, walks towards her.
Excuse me.
The young man stops.
Do you know where I'm supposed to go in? It's my first day and I'm a little confused.
The young man indicates a door on his left.
Thank you.
She opens the door and enters. Interior school, classroom, day. As Nellie steps in, all the students and the teacher look at her. She stops and timidly waves at them. Goes to an empty chair and sits down. Interior school, classroom, day. It's almost dark outside. The bell rings. All the kids pick up their bags and start to exit the classroom. Nellie writes carefully in her notebook. Mariana, 36, nice outfit and small glasses, is the teacher. She sits in her chair. Removes her glasses and looks at Nellie.
Didn't you hear the bell?
Yes. Sorry. I just need a minute.
It's the last class of the day, so you can do your homework outside.
Nellie stands up. She walks to the teacher's desk. hands over the homework sheet and smiles.
I'm done.
The teacher takes Nellie's sheet. She reads and crumples it into a ball. Takes 5 more homework sheets and slams them in front of Nellie.
If you want to play smart, better be ready. These are due tomorrow morning.
She puts her glasses back on and opens the school diary. Nellie takes the 5 homework sheets and puts them in her backpack. Exterior school, hallway, day. Nellie steps out of her classroom. She sees a number of older kids in the hallway. Lyubka, 10, a tall, skinny girl with snarly hair smacks the front of her drawer next to Sneana, 12, a pretty girl with dark hair and neat clothes. Sneana sees Nellie and walks towards her.
Hey, I'm Sneana. You must be new. Like, it's my first day.
Sneana smiles wistfully.
I remember my first day. It blew me away. What do you mean? You'll see.
Exterior outside the school, day. Nellie walks away deep in thought. Sneana runs to catch up again.
Hey, you wanna walk together? Sure. I'd love that.
Exterior near a bus stop, day. Nellie and Sneana approach a bus stop.
Is this your stop? No, mine is further down. I'll come with you. Don't worry, if your bus is here, I can go alone. That's okay.
Exterior the road, day. Nellie and Sneana walk on the muddy road. They are both quiet. Sneana's face is expressionless. Nellie speaks up.
So, how long have you been in school? I'm moving next year, to another school. High school. Your parents must be proud of you.
Sneana stops. She clenches her teeth. Nellie walks ahead but notices Sneana has fallen behind.
I learned that I should only judge the people by their actions, not their looks.
Nellie turns around. Sneana advances and stands right behind her.
Walk.
Nellie stops, confused.
Walk.
Nellie starts to walk. Sneana shoves her from behind. Nellie looks at her. Sneana's face is cold.
I said walk.
Nellie continues to walk. Sneana smacks her from behind. Nellie staggers.
Why? Stay in front.
Nellie obeys. Sneana kicks her with her foot. Nellie continues to walk in front of her. Sneana hits her even harder on the head. Exterior the Acacias bus stop, day. Nellie and Sneana approach the Acacias bus stop. Nellie walks ahead of her and sobs. Sneana smacks her after every few paces. Nellie sees the arriving bus in the distance. She tries to run. Sneana grabs the back of her dress. Nellie falls. Sneana kicks her face, causing blood to gush out of Nellie's nose. Sneana doesn't let up. She continues kicking Nellie relentlessly. As the bus approaches, Sneana stops kicking her. Nellie stands up and runs toward the bus. Interior the bus, day. The bus drives on. Nellie sits alone, still sobbing. The blood on her face has gone dry. She looks through the window and sees the shape of a beautiful house down the alley. Nellie jumps up and continues to look through the different bus windows as the house gets smaller and smaller in the distance. Exterior St. Nicola bus stop, day. It's almost dark. Nellie walks off the bus. Her face is swollen and red. She walks past the toy store. Looks through the shop window and sees the plush toy of the puppy and cat that Milka had pointed out the previous day. She takes out the coins from her pocket and starts counting them. A smile lights up her face. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Milka cleans the house alone. 3 knocks come from the door. She opens. It's Nellie.
My God, what happened to your face?
Nellie steps inside the room.
It's nothing, Mom. I just fell at school.
Who did that to you?
I told you. Don't worry. I'll be more careful next time.
Milka shuts the door and sits on her bed. Nellie takes off her backpack.
Come here.
Nellie walks to her and they hug.
You know, when you were very little, you had this long, golden hair going all the way down to your waist. I didn't want to cut it. It was so nice and shiny.
But it's dark now.
Yeah, well. We had to cut it eventually, but you look even more beautiful now.
I could have been just like Rapunzel.
You want to know a secret?
Nellie nods, while they stay hugged. Milka whispers in her ear.
You're prettier than her.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. That's why they envy you.
Who does?
Everyone.
Nellie sits on the bed next to Milka.
You know, when you were 9 months old, you could speak as fluently as I do, and when you were 1 year old, you remembered whole poems.
Nellie smiles with pride.
Yes, I could.
Then, when you were 3, you learned how to read all by yourself, remember?
Nellie nods again.
At 4, you could write, and that same year, you signed up in the library all by yourself. You were the youngest member. Who else could do that?
Nobody?
Nobody, but you.
Nellie hugs her again. Milka's face expresses concern. Exterior near the neighborhood houses. Day. Milka and Nellie walk the street.
Where exactly are we going?
I'm gonna introduce you to someone.
They arrive at a small farmhouse with a clean front yard. Milka rings the bell. Nevena, 40s, a beautiful woman with black and white hair, answers.
Hi, Milka. Hey. I hope you're not intruding. Oh, not at all. Please, come in.
The three walk inside. Interior outside Lyubka's house. Day. Despite its simple looks, it's a very neat, cozy house. They all remove their shoes before stepping inside. Interior Lyubka's house, 2nd floor. Day. Nellie, Milka and Nevena walk up a staircase. Nevena leads first and heads down the hallway. She stops at a door. Knocks a few times. No answer. Heavy metal music plays from within the room.
Lyubka, open up. It's important.
She knocks again. Milka and Nellie come towards the room. Nevena knocks loudly.
Lyubka.
The music stops. The door opens and Lyubka appears. She looks annoyed.
Milka and Nellie are here.
Lyubka scans them and her eyes fall onto Nellie. A subtle smile appears on her face. Interior Lyubka's house, her room. Day. Milka, Nellie, Nevena and Lyubka sit inside the room.
I think it's a great idea.
I'm glad you're up for it.
Yeah, we'll have a great time together.
She winks at Nellie. Nellie huddles up to Milka.
Very good then.
Exterior St. Nicola bus stop. Day. Milka and Nellie arrive at the bus stop. Lyubka is there, waiting.
I hope you two have a good time, and Nellie, make sure you don't get into any trouble. Okay?
Milka kisses her and walks away. Nellie looks timid. Lyubka smirks. The bus arrives and they both get on it. Interior the bus. Day. Lyubka takes one of the front seats. Nellie walks back and sits down in an empty seat towards the rear. Lyubka stands up and looks behind her. Nellie hides. The bus approaches the acacia stop. As Nellie walks by Lyubka's seat, Lyubka grabs her wrist.
Let me go.
This isn't the school stop.
I know.
She frees her wrist from Lyubka's grasp and steps off the bus. Exterior the Acacia's bus stop. Day. Just before bus leaves, Lyubka jumps out of it as well. She catches up with Nellie.
What are you doing? Why are we here?
I must go to the next stop.
Lyubka smiles faintly.
So, you're saving, huh?
Nellie keeps walking.
That's okay. I like to save too. Just not like this. You won't get enough for all your walking.
That's fine.
It's very muddy here. Let me show you another path. It's shorter and we won't be late.
No need. I'll walk this way.
Lyubka rolls her eyes.
Okay, whatever. I don't care anyway.
About what?
If I'm gonna be late or not.
I see.
Don't you want to know why?
Not really.
I'm gonna be in a band and we'll play at major festivals, so I'll be absent from school anyway.
I don't like your music.
Lyubka laughs.
I didn't like it too when I was your age. But then I felt it. All these perfect beats and energy. I just fell in love with it.
Nellie walks on quietly. Lyubka eyes her bruises.
Who did that to you? I promise I won't tell.
I just fell.
No, you didn't. I get it. You don't want to get in trouble, but if you don't speak out, they'll know they can push you around and get away with it.
Nellie doesn't respond.
Okay. Have it your way, but at least give me a heads up who it might be so I can keep an eye on them.
Interior school, classroom, day. The kids leave their homework sheets at the teacher's desk. Mariana checks them. Nellie puts down several sheets and heads to her desk. Mariana leaves the other sheets and starts checking Nellie's work.
You. Come here.
Nellie returns to the desk.
What is this?
The homework you gave me yesterday.
No, it's not.
She picks up an empty test list and smacks it in front of Nellie.
This is the homework I gave to everyone.
But I did it yesterday. You gave me these few more extra sheets before I left.
Mariana takes off her glasses.
Are you saying I don't remember what I gave you?
No,
I'll take note of that. You may sit.
The school bell rings. Nellie and the other kids walk out of the classroom. Interior school, hallway, day. Snoena sees Nellie and sneers at her. Then, a tap on Nellie's shoulder. It's Lyubka.
That girl is the meanest in the whole school. I'd stay away from her if I were you.
I know.
Nellie walks ahead. Lyubka stares at Snoena, then catches up with Nellie. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. The phone rings. Milka picks it up.
Hello? Oh, hi. I understand. Okay. I'll be there tomorrow.
Interior school, classroom, day. Milka enters the empty classroom. Mariana sits behind her desk and writes in a school book. She sees Milka and takes off her glasses.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I got a little worried when you called last night.
Yeah. I'm afraid your daughter is lacking discipline.
How do you mean?
Well, she is arrogant, doesn't listen, and argues with her teachers.
That's very unlike her. I know how much she loves to study.
I understand, but she doesn't show it here.
I'll talk to her.
You better do that, or you may need to find her another school.
We can't afford that right now.
Mariana puts on her glasses and continues to write in her school book. Milka stands still for a few seconds, then walks out of the classroom. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Milka opens the front door. Nellie sits in a chair, reading her school books. Stoyan sits at his desk, repairing an old radio. He turns around, as Milka enters.
Where have you been?
I was at Nellie's school.
She takes off her coat.
Any problem there?
No, it's her teacher gave me an update.
Nellie stares at Milka.
Well.
Milka looks at Nellie.
It's all good.
Stoyan turns back to his desk. Milka smiles at Nellie. Exterior the toy store, day. Nellie heads to the front desk. She holds the cute plush toy from earlier.
I want to buy this toy.
The salesman doesn't see her, as Nellie is too little to reach the desk. He leans over and sees her below. She smiles at him and goes to move a chair towards the desk. Steps on it. Nellie leaves the toy on the desk and picks up a small purse, takes out all the coins on the table and starts counting them. The salesman stands behind the desk. Nellie's face suddenly drops.
What is it?
It seems I'm missing one coin. I'm so sorry.
The salesman smiles.
That's okay. You can take it.
Nellie's face brightens.
Thank you. I promise to get you the coin later.
The salesman nods. Nellie takes up the toy and joyfully runs out of the store. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Nellie enters. Her eyes are glowing. Milka sits on the bed with her back against the door.
Mom, I got you a surprise.
Milka turns around and smiles.
I bet it's not bigger than mine.
You have a surprise.
MMHM.
What is it?
Try to guess.
The house on the beach?
No.
She kisses Nellie on her forehead.
Okay. I got a new dress?
You already have a dress. That wouldn't be a surprise.
We got a new dog.
No, dear.
Milka stands up and Nellie sees a beautiful baby girl covered in cloak. It is Svetla, Nellie's sister.
Oh.
Aren't you happy to see her?
I am. I thought it'd be something else.
She smiles disappointedly, then sits on her bed. Milka walks to Nellie and starts to tickle her.
Are you? Sly girl.
Nellie laughs. Milka leaves her on the bed.
Granny brought us some pancakes. Do you want some?
Sure.
As Milka walks away, Nellie's face becomes serious. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day, super, Christmas 1969. Nellie wakes up. Near her pillow, she sees a little basin with a couple of small pegs and a cute mini soap lying next to it. She gets up and starts to examine them with curiosity. Milka walks into the room.
Hey! Merry Christmas!
Nellie gets out of her bed and hugs Milka.
I also have a present for you.
Oh?
Nellie kneels down and takes a small wrapped gift from beneath her bed. Milka unwraps it. Finally, she opens the box and sees the plush toy Nelly bought earlier. She smiles and looks at Nelly. Her eyes fill with tears.
Oh, my dear.
Nelly hugs her again. Interior Lyubka's house, porch, day. It's early in the morning. Nelly rings the doorbell. Lyubka opens the door. She looks concerned.
Hi, are you ready?
I'm not going to school today.
Why? Are you okay?
Yes, I am, but we'll be moving to another town. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I hope you find good friends there.
Yeah, me too.
Nelly smiles and walks away. Lyubka stands at the door.
Hey Nelly.
Nelly turns around.
You are a really good friend.
Thank you. You're a good friend too.
She continues to walk away. Her eyes become wet with tears. Exterior the road, day. A dusty fog covers the air. Nelly walks through a thick snow with summer sandals. She shivers as she approaches the bus stop. The school bus arrives from the distance. Interior school, hallway, day. The school bell rings. Nelly walks out of the classroom with the other kids. She sees a half-open door and glances at a dancing girl within the room. She steps closer. A number of girls dance beautifully on the training stage. Nelly looks at them in rapture. Lyubka, 40, a handsome man with a smiling face, approaches her from behind. He squats down and touches her shoulder gently. Nelly turns around.
You like the girls?
Yeah.
Wait here.
He opens the door and steps inside. Lyubka talks to the dance teacher, a curly-haired woman in her 30s. He waves to Nelly. She steps inside. Interior the school, dancing hall, day. Nelly wears a folk costume and tries to follow the movements of the girls next to her. Lyubka stands nearby and watches her. The dance teacher claps at the dancing girls.
That's enough for today.
The dancing girls walk away. Lyubka steps up and touches Nelly's shoulder. He squats to her. She turns to him. He spits on his thumb and cleans a small spot on her face.
I'm very tired.
Is your father coming?
No, it's my mom.
Lyubka smiles.
I teach the accordion. Would you like me to show you?
What is an accordion?
It's a wide instrument that plays beautiful melodies. Come.
Nelly follows him outside the dancing hall. Interior school, hallway, day. Lyubka walks ahead. Nelly follows him. They reach an office at the far end of the hallway. Lyubka draws a set of keys from his pocket and starts to open the grill behind the office door. Nelly steps back. Lyubka smiles to her.
This is my study. Come on in.
He steps inside. Nelly waits for a moment, then follows him. Interior the school, Lyubka's office, day. Nelly looks around. It is a very warm and inviting room with classroom furniture and different musical instruments put on the shelves. Lyubka picks up a small accordion and hands it to Nelly. She takes it. Lyubka pulls the door grill shut and locks it up. Nelly plays a few tones on the accordion.
Do you like it?
It's nice. Can you show me how to play?
Of course. Come here.
Lyubka puts his left hand on the accordion keys and his right hand on the squeeze box.
Now you compress and expand.
He shows Nelly how to move the squeeze box.
And you press the keys. Like this.
He puts his hand on her fingers and gently presses them against the keys. A nice melody starts playing. Nelly jumps excitedly.
I got it. Let me try now.
He helps her a few more times, then sits on the chair behind his desk. Nelly starts playing the accordion. He smiles and puts his right hand behind the desk. A knock on the door. Lyubka makes a gesture to Nelly to continue playing. Another series of knocks come at the door. Nelly stops playing.
Someone may be looking for you.
Just ignore it. Would you like to come home, so we can practice some more together?
Without answering, Nelly resumes playing. The melody ends. Another series of strong knocks come at the door. Lyubka stands up and opens it. It is Milka. She looks worried.
Have you seen a little girl? Blue eyes, dark hair? It's my daughter.
Lyubka doesn't answer. Nelly appears behind him.
Mommy.
She hugs Milka.
The teacher showed me how to play the accordion. It's so wonderful. Let me show you.
She disappears in the back. Milka steps inside the room. Blyco stands behind her. Nellie starts playing the same melody on the accordion. Milka watches her with rapture. The melody ends and Milka applauds her. Nellie bows.
Thank you.
Milka turns back to Blyco.
Thank you for teaching my daughter.
The pleasure is all mine.
Nellie leaves the accordion and Milka takes her hand.
Can I sign her up for your class?
Yes, you can. But please understand that my class is for older kids.
How much is it going to cost?
8 levs per month.
My total salary is 10.
I understand.
Thank you.
She and Nellie turn to leave.
Wait. I think your daughter has great potential.
What do you mean?
I guess I can teach her privately from the other kids a few times a week. No charges, of course. If she develops her talent, it will be beneficial for both of us.
Blyco looks at Nellie and smiles.
Can I discuss it with my husband and get back to you?
For sure.
Milka nods.
But Mom.
Let's go.
They leave the room. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Next to Stoyan and Milka's bed, the alarm clock rings. Nellie rubs her eyes. The alarm stops. She gets up and puts on her old slippers. The alarm rings again. Stoyan grabs the clock and throws it at the wall. It smashes. Milka wakes up.
Fucking clocks.
Nellie stands frozen. Milka goes next to her and whispers in her ear.
Daddy's very tired. We need to let him sleep, okay?
Nellie nods.
Okay.
She takes Nellie's backpack and quietly puts it on Nellie's back.
Milka, where are you?
I'm here. Helping Nellie to get ready for school.
Come back here.
Are you good?
Nellie nods again.
Okay.
Milka pats her on the head and goes back to bed. Nellie puts on her old sandals and walks out of the apartment. Exterior the Acacias bus stop. Day. It's cold. Nellie blows on her hands in an attempt to warm them. The beggar with burned face approaches her. He carries a large bag on a two-wheel dolly and eats a hot banitsa.
Which bus are you waiting for?
Nellie.
I got on the same bus when I was your age.
Yet?
It was a long time, but I still remember the warm leather seats. The stern conductor.
She is quite nice, actually.
Neck. They all are.
Nellie shuffles her feet to warm them. The beggar looks at her sandals.
Don't your feet get cold?
Like, a little.
Hold on.
He puts down his banitsa and starts to look inside his dolly.
No.
He takes off a pair of wool socks from the dolly.
Yes. Put these on.
Mister, thank you, but...
Come on. Put them on. You'll get warm quickly.
Nellie picks up the socks and takes off her shoes. She puts on one wool sock, then the other. She puts on her shoes on top of them.
How is it? Better, yes?
Like.
The bus arrives from the distance. Nellie's stomach rumbles. The beggar hands her his banitsa. Nellie shakes her head.
Wait.
The beggar wipes his hand clean on his trousers and takes out the bitten piece from the banitsa. He hands it over again.
It's good now?
Nellie still doesn't take the treat. Steam curls from the banitsa. Finally, she gives in and takes the banitsa. Then, shoves her left hand in her pocket and draws out a few coins. She looks at them.
I only have enough for the bus.
Don't worry about it. I'm glad I could help.
He smiles sincerely. The bus stops and Nellie steps inside. She waves at him as he watches the bus leave. Interior the school, teacher's room, day. It's a parent-teacher conference. Milka stands alone at a table, while other parents and teachers talk at other tables. Kavrova, 42, a middle-aged female teacher, walks to a small podium and taps the microphone to check if it's on.
Welcome everyone. I just want to say a few words before we start the discussion. We had a few special kids I want to talk about.
She puts on her glasses on and picks up a sheet of paper.
Snejana has been one of the best students for the last 6 months. She has represented us in 3 international competitions. Congratulations to her and her parents.
Kavrova looks at 2 well-dressed people, a man and woman at a nearby table. Everyone starts applauding.
I also want us to talk about a new student. Her name is Nellie and she has been a very problematic student, according to some teachers, including myself. Irresponsible, abusive, undisciplined. A girl with no talent, future or any communist education.
The rest of the people groan affirmatively.
If anyone has anything to say, please feel free. Thank you.
Milka watches silently. She doesn't move. Interior school, hallway, day. Milka walks down the hallway. Bligo catches up with her.
I was wondering if...
Not now, please.
It's about Nellie. I would really like to teach her. At my place.
I don't want anything from you.
But ma'am.
She stops.
Cut the crap, will you? I see the way you look at her.
Bligo freezes.
You thought I wouldn't know, huh? You didn't just sell us a broken accordion, but then offered to go privately and show her your secrets with it.
This is outrageous. I'm gonna tell the director about this.
Yeah? You won't need to because I'll do it first. Let's ask the other girls you teach. Maybe they all have a few lovely stories to tell.
Other teachers and parents look at the scene.
What are you looking at, huh? You like this pedophile? Keep him. I'm getting her out of this bug hole.
She walks away. Bligo looks after her. Exterior outside the school, day. Milka walks away fast. She turns around the corner and drops to the ground. Starts to cry. Interior dim of house, living room, night, present day, year 1991. Nellie convulses. She retches and coughs up more blood. Valerie is next to her.
Nellie, what's happening? Talk to me.
Milka steps into the room.
Call an ambulance.
Interior hospital, hallway, night. A few surgeons with medical masks push a gurney. Nellie lies on it. Valerie walks beside her.
Just stay with me, okay? You'll fight this.
The surgeons move Nellie inside an operating room. Two of the surgeons stop Valerie from walking inside with them.
Sir, you can't go inside.
I need to be with her.
Sir, step away, please.
He pushes the surgeons away and tries to walk past them.
Security.
A few guards in uniform come running down the corridor. Interior hospital, operation room, night. Valerie pushes the doors open and steps inside. 3 surgeons in medical masks stand next to Nellie's bed. They attach systems to her body. 2 of them turn to Valerie.
Sir, you can't be in here. Please, step outside.
Just let me stay here. I won't interrupt. Please.
The guards step inside the room and seize him.
Nellie, hold on. I'm here. I'm with you.
He resists, but the guards drag him out of the room.
I guess deep down, I always knew this was coming.
A young doctor, 30, without a medical mask steps into the room. He has a kind face, blonde hair and blue eyes. The young doctor stands above Nellie and prepares to operate.
What do we have?
The baby is 13 days overdue. The umbilical cord and placenta are in a state of decay.
The surgeons and young doctor continue the operation.
Okay. Push.
Nellie pushes really hard, but the baby doesn't come out.
Again.
She tries one more time without result.
Get me a second unit, stat.
One of the surgeons walks out of the operation room.
Prepare the scissors.
Surgeon 1 hands him a long pair of scissors. He takes the scissors and cuts flesh near the uterus. Nellie screams. The second unit of surgeons step into the room. They surround Nellie's bed. She starts to lose consciousness. The female surgeon shakes her.
You've got to stay conscious.
We are losing it. Forceps.
Surgeon 2 hands him over the forceps.
We got no choice. Need to pull him out by the head.
The young doctor pauses. He breathes heavily.
Nellie. Nellie.
She barely opens her eyes.
You got to try one more time. Come on. You ready?
Exterior outside the hospital, day. Milka and Jitsa, 46, a kind woman wearing brown, stand outside the hospital gates. Stoyan and Svetla wait from across the street for the vehicles to pass, so they can walk towards the hospital. Svetla looks healthy. She has her arm around Stoyan's shoulder. Interior hospital, operation room, day. The sky is overcast with dark grey clouds. The young doctor pushes Nellie's chest and she tries one more time. The young doctor's face and apron are covered in sweat. A thunderstorm breaks the clear sky. A huge amount of rain falls down. Exterior outside the hospital, day. The hospital gate opens and a nurse approaches Milka and Jitsa. She talks to them. Milka looks at Stoyan across the street. Her worried face changes into a smile. Stoyan leans back in relief. He takes out a cigarette and puts it in his mouth. Interior hospital, operation room, day, the sound of a baby crying. The young doctor wipes his face with a sleeve and sighs in relief. Nellie barely breathes. She tries to lift her head up and sees the blurry images of the doctor and the surgeons.
Boy or girl?
He's got a swollen head.
Is it healthy?
Yes.
It's a boy. Okay. Let's remove the placenta.
2 of the surgeons remove the placenta. One of them lifts his fingers to his nose. They put it in a metal bowl. One of them speaks up.
With that kind of decay, a few more hours and the child would have certainly died. This woman is very lucky.
Let's close her up.
Is it a boy or a girl?
That's the 4th time you've asked.
Is the baby alright?
Yes.
The other surgeons prepare to sew her back up.
Wait.
He walks to the metal bowl and looks at the decaying placenta. Picks it up.
There is a missing piece.
He changes his gloves.
Inside. Put her under local anesthesia.
The female surgeon takes a syringe with anesthesia. She starts injecting it in Nellie's wrist. Nellie tries to move it away, but Surgeon 3 holds her hand. Nellie starts to groan.
Why do you groan when it's not hurting you?
Is the baby normal?
It's the anesthesia. Makes them talk all kind of nonsense.
Put her in the department. No painkillers or sleeping pills. She may scream or groan, but don't give her anything. She must remain conscious.
The surgeons move Nellie's gurney. She hears the voice of the young doctor from behind.
I'll stay until it's over.
Interior hospital, emergency room, operation room, night. Nellie wakes up in the middle of the night. It's dark. There are no windows in the room. She hears a baby's cry and stands up with difficulty. Using the nearby tables, she holds herself up and walks across the room. She stumbles and falls. Nellie stands back up again. She hears the baby's cry again and tries to find the exit. Finally reaches it. Nellie opens the door and walks into the operation room. She walks across the room and exits it. Interior hospital, hallway, continuous. Her hospital dress is soaked in blood. Nellie staggers but holds herself against the wall. A nurse sees her and calls out to her colleague. She and 2 other nurses run towards Nellie.
It's my baby. He's crying.
It's not your baby, come on. You shouldn't be walking alone. Come on. Slowly.
They help her go back. Interior hospital, emergency room, continuous. The nurse tucks Nellie in the bed and smiles.
Rest now. You'll see him in the morning.
The nurses leave the room and close the door behind. Nellie sees the door close and the whole room gets covered in dark. Exterior outside the tenement house, day, year 1969. A hailstorm rages outside. Lightning bolts the grey sky. Interior the tenement house, apartment, day. Nellie lies alone in her bed. A newspaper headline on Stoyan's table reads "Pedophile arrested in elementary school." The front door opens. Nellie turns around. Milka steps in, looking sad. She sits on Nellie's bed.
I've got something for you.
Nellie jumps to her feet. Milka's sad face turns into a playful smile. She picks up a small box from behind her back.
What is it?
I'll let you open it, but then I want to show you something special, all right?
Nellie tries to take away the box, but Milka doesn't let her.
Okay. I promise.
Milka releases the box and Nellie takes it. She sits on her bed and opens it carefully, using a small pair of scissors. It takes her some time.
Aren't you curious to see what's inside?
I am, but I want to keep the box.
Milka smiles. Nellie finally unwraps the box and opens it. It is full of fresh fruits.
Mommy.
Grandpa sent them just for you.
Nellie hugs her. Interior hospital, emergency room, day, year 1991. The young doctor steps into the room. He wears everyday clothes. Nellie wakes up. He approaches her.
How are you?
It hurts.
Of course. It's a fresh wound. We had to cut you open and stitch a lot. But the baby is fine. It was a miracle.
When can I see him?
As soon as you feel better.
A nurse walks into the room.
Put her upstairs and bring her fresh food. Take good care of her.
He looks at Nellie. She nods with gratitude.
Thank you.
The young doctor prepares to leave. He stops at the doorway and turns back.
Miracle.
He smiles and steps out of the room. The door stays open and Nellie watches him as he walks away.
I never saw the kind young doctor again. Never learned his name or heard about him in the hospital. It was like an angel came down for me that night.
Exterior the Sea Garden Park, day, year 1969. Milka and Nellie walk through an alley. They approach a large house.
Do you want to see it?
Nellie stops. Milka takes her hand. Sava walks out of the large house, smiling.
Grandpa.
She runs towards and hugs him. He picks her up joyfully.
You want to see the house?
He lifts her onto his shoulders and they enter the house. Milka follows them. Interior the Sea Garden house balcony, continuous. It's a beautiful new house with clean wooden furniture and large windows looking at the sea. Sava and Nellie head upstairs. Sava steps out onto the balcony. He holds Nellie sitting on his shoulders.
Wow.
Do you like it?
It's amazing.
And it's all yours?
Right.
It is.
Nellie's eyes widen. She climbs off Sava's shoulders onto a nearby table.
You're kidding.
Have I ever told you a lie?
No, but...
Nellie jumps at his neck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Milka stands on the balcony and watches them. She smiles. Interior hospital, nursery room, day, year 1991. Nellie walks slowly between the different baby cots. Valerie holds her. The nurse walks ahead of them. She stops at a particular cot.
Here.
Nellie approaches the cot. She sees a beautiful baby boy smiling. She picks him up and lifts him up with tenderness. A tear rolls down her cheek.
Have you thought of a name yet?
Valerie Jr.
She hands it over to Valerie. He picks the baby boy up.
That was the most wonderful moment of my life. And it was the first time I felt that I wasn't helpless anymore.
The baby starts peeing. Some of it gets in his mouth. Everyone laughs.
I realized that everything that happened led me to this single moment and maybe, just maybe, that was the only way I could see it.
Through the window, Nellie looks out onto the outside street. The rain continues to fall. It pours like a river, cleaning the street and everything that was once there. A hooded man with the body and clothes similar to the young doctor stands on the street. He looks up, towards the hospital window, but his face is too far and unrecognizable.
And added. It was through all the pain and suffering, God was always there. Testing me. Watching over me.
A car drives by, covering the hooded man. When it passes, the hooded man is gone.
From then on, if anyone told me they knew happiness, I always asked them.
Valerie puts his hand on her shoulder. She touches it.
Have you seen life itself? Have you suffered it like a mother, father, a child or an old man?
Valerie stands next to her, holding the baby as they all look at the cleaned, peaceful street through the window.
Have you ever lived a miracle?
Fade out. The end. Thank you for listening to this readthrough.com production of A Spirited Queen by Valerie Lilov.